What's up, people? It's TheNaturegirl30 here, and this is my mini Q&A number 7. Thank you guys so much for sending me your questions, and if you have any questions for me, by all means, send it to my YouTube inbox. It'll be a lot easier for me to actually put together and organize for these Q&As. Spaz, you are awesome. Like, seriously, you are like the coolest dude ever on the planet. Like, seriously. This guy sent me 14 emails of questions for a Q&A. So, since you sent me so many, there is no way that I'm going to be able to put all of your questions on a Q&A right now. It's going to probably be like up to 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably do maybe I should do an entire Q&A, just have the Spaz Phoenix edition. Seriously. And I think that's probably what I'm going to do. It's a lot of questions to get through. I might just do a few for this Q&A, and for the rest of them, I'll probably just have a Spaz Phoenix edition. But right now, I'm just going to get started with this Q&A, starting with my friend NJ17. If you guys have not checked out NJ's channel, please do. He does really a unique twist to his Q&As. They're pretty random. They're not really all the time. And when he actually does do it, it gives you pretty much a personal insight into his life and what he does for a living. As well as the British Fist will bring out the whole wrestling side of him, as well as his wrestling knowledge. So please check him out on the British Fist as well as his personal channel. Thank you, NJ, for sending me these questions. Now let's get started on your question. Your first question for me is, what do you like to drink when you're at home? I'm just a usual water drinker. I drink water as well as milk and juice, and I'm just pretty much the usual person when it comes to like drinking stuff at home. I don't usually drink alcoholic beverage at home unless it's like a special occasion, like if it's WrestleMania or if it's like the Super Bowl, if I don't feel like going anywhere. But I don't usually drink that often at home. What do you like to drink when you go out? I like Midori's. I'm sorry, I love Midori sours. I really do. The whole mix between sweet and sour, it's just, I love it. I've had sex on the beach before. That's pretty overrated. It's not bad. It all depends on how they make it. I love all kinds of mixed drinks. My favorite happens to be a margarita, like everyone else. And I love apple margaritas, as well as a 1985 margarita that was actually made at Hooters when I had a pot roast sandwich watching, I think, the Royal Rumble that year in a bar with some of my coworkers. And I'm not going to lie, it was probably the best margarita I ever had. As well as going to Key West, and I actually had an apple margarita in Key West, and that was probably the best one, as well as a key lime pie. Anything that pretty much complements what I'm eating is something I really do love. I'm not much of a beer drinker, and I've always wanted to try Guinness because dark beers aren't so bad. But everyone that keeps telling me they actually went to the UK or to Ireland, they're like, dude, try it when you go over there. Don't drink it here. It tastes different. So I'm probably just going to wait until I actually do go to the UK or go to Ireland, and whenever I go, to actually try a Guinness. But honestly, but when I actually do drink, I'm responsible with it. I really am. I always wait. I always make sure I have a designated driver. Or if I do drink, if I'm drinking at a friend's house, I don't go anywhere until I sober up. That's how I am. I really try to be responsible. So if you guys do drink, nothing wrong with that, but just be responsible with it. Do not drink and drive, and do not drink while buzzed. That's just as bad. So just be responsible when you actually do drink alcohol, guys. Going to NJ's next question for me is, what wrestling match or matches were your fave? I got 3. Any match that involves Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon probably had the best feuds I have ever seen in my entire life. Like, seriously, straight up. I love everything he did, especially the fact that he went from ring post to ring post, and he really did do a 20-foot drop off the Titantron. He pretty much he was banged up and bruised like everybody, all the other wrestlers. He pretty much dived in there, and I love Shane for that. 2 matches involved The Undertaker. The first one, the second one happens to be his Hell in a Cell match that he had with Mankind. That's going to forever be burned in my brain, Mankind having the tooth just stuck up his nose for falling off of a really high Hell in a Cell. Like, straight up, that was truly a Hell in a Cell match. But the one that will forever burn in my brain, because it happens to be the first WrestleMania I've ever been to, was WrestleMania 27 for the streak with Triple H versus The Undertaker. That was probably the best match I've ever seen in my life, because Triple H pretty much threw out all the stops. He threw everything at him, even the kitchen sink, and he could not put him down. He even did his own signature move. Still couldn't put him down. And we all thought we were going to win this history, and everybody just literally held their breath to see what the ending was going to be. And that was pretty much the best match I've ever experienced, ever. And I will never forget that match, even though the entire pay-per-view sucked. But thank you so much, NJ, for those questions. And you also have a last question for me. How do you spend your free time? When I have free time, and I usually don't, mostly I really do run errands while on my days off. But there are times I do have my moments of spontaneity, and I just drive. I just drive. Any direction that I go, when I feel like listening to my music a little bit longer, I just take the long way. Sometimes I drive to the beach. Sometimes I drive to a marina. Sometimes I just drive in the country. I just go. It's freeing. It's pretty freeing. Also, to have your favorite songs on there is even better. And I usually just plug up my phone to my car, listen to my songs on my MP3 player from my phone, and just go. It's probably the most enjoyable moment I ever have sometimes, when I just have those moments of spontaneity. And sometimes during fair season, the entire state of South Carolina has nothing but fairs in every town. If I really am feeling up to it, or if I have the money, I actually just go and check out a fair. And that's just me. You know, I actually eat the fair food, the carny food, and just enjoy myself. Thank you so much, NJ, for sending those questions to me. Also, I'm going to go to another person that sent me some questions, and that's Nintendo Fanboy 1988. Thank you for sending your questions, sir. What do you like better, PS3 or Xbox 360, and why? And what problems do you have with both consoles? I like the 360. I do, because of the Kinect. I really enjoy myself playing with the Kinect. You are the controller. You don't have to hold anything like you do with the Move, which is pretty much one of my gripes with PlayStation 3 is the Move. I don't like that. I like the fact that you're your own controller. You're moving this and there, and your character actually moves with you. I think that's pretty cool and innovative. I happen to like the games. With Xbox 360, it's a little bit more mature, especially when it comes to the horror games. I like the horror games on 360. I just do. I like the fighting games on there as well, especially seeing it on seeing Mortal Kombat on 360 is pretty awesome. But my biggest gripe with PS3 is the controllers. It's the hardware. I'm sorry. I have freakishly man hands. I cannot hang on to a PS3 controller. It's just too small for my hands. I just don't like it. Trying to have my thumbs over the controller and hitting the wrong button, my character goes another way. It's just annoying to me. So that's the reason why I like the 360, because of their hardware. It's just bigger. It's made for people with freakishly man hands like mine. But another gripe that I have with the 360 is Xbox Live. Even though you have fun with Xbox Live and you're able to talk to one person or the other, or either exclusively or inclusively with other people, you have to pay $60 to do it. $60 a year? While PlayStation Network is free? It's kind of jacked up. I mean, that's the only thing is, I mean, even though you get what you pay for, and you do get what you pay for, it just sucks that you have to pay $60 to do it. It really is. It's cheap, but you still have to pay $60. Kind of sad. But that is my gripe with it. What TV shows other than what TV shows do you like other than wrestling? I like comedies as well as dramas. I really do. Right now, I'm really into a lot of British comedies. I got done watching My Family a few months back, and good grief, I've never laughed so hard in my life. I mean, seriously, that's probably one of the funniest shows I've ever watched. And also, I love The Vicar of Dibley. I've never laughed so much watching The Vicar of Dibley. I thought that show was brilliant because it took an actual issue that was going on in the 90s at the time and actually made a complete comical sitcom about it. I thought it was beautiful. The whole idea, they had female priests coming in, actually a lot more female priests becoming priests or becoming vicars around that time in the 90s, and they actually took that whole issue and made a comedy about it. And I thought it was brilliant. I really did think it was brilliant. But honestly, and I just kept laughing. I never stopped laughing watching that. But I also like British dramas as well. And the drama that has really caught me besides Hex, and I love Doctor Who. Love Doctor Who. But the drama that really did catch my eye and is so deliciously dark that I just can't turn away is Luther. I love Luther. Luther I mean, I love Idris Elba. Idris Elba is probably one of the best actors I've ever encountered, like ever. I didn't watch The Wire, but I saw him in Luther, and he's a brilliant actor. And the character, I mean, it's such a twisted view. He has a twisted view of certain things, but it's still well done. I love that show. I really do. For anybody that has not seen Luther, go back and watch the series. Like, seriously. I watched it on BBC America. It's coming back, I think, sometime either next year or this month. I can't remember. But either or is something that's really worth checking out. Seriously, it's a really good drama. Thank you so much for sending me your questions. But you also have 2 more questions for me. And I want to go into those. And Spaz, you're going to have an entire Q&A. Seriously. It's going to be based on all Spaz Phoenix. So, I'm going to get done with these guys' questions, and then I will get to you in the next Q&A. But right now, I'm going to answer the next 2 questions from Nintendo Fanboy 1988. What are your thoughts on Necro who bashes wrestling fans and says any adults who watch wrestling are retarded? Well, I don't watch Necro I have never even watched any of his videos. So I really don't entirely know whether or not he's actually just saying it just to get 15 minutes of fame, or whether or not he really does feel that way. But regardless of that, he really does have a right to say what he wants to say. Even if we don't agree, he has that right. And if he feels that every person is retarded for watching wrestling, that's how he feels. I'm going to still watch wrestling. Whatever he says isn't going to stop me from watching wrestling and loving what I like. But he has a right to say what he's got to say. What are your thoughts on the Wrestling Jesus? Same thing. He's known for making rants about other YouTubers, as well as making top 10 reasons why something sucks. You know, the thing about it is, he has a right to say what he has to say. And even though we don't like it, we don't have to watch him. I haven't seen the Wrestling Jesus videos in a long time, but there are times that some of his videos that he actually does do is pretty freaking comical. But some of his other videos he actually does have a few valid points. But he is entitled to say what he wants to say and how he says it. And if we don't like it, don't watch him. That's how I see it. Thank you so much for sending me your questions, Nintendo Fanboy 1988. And thank you, NJ, for sending me your questions as well. Spaz, I'm going to make an entire Q&A based on you because you sent me so freaking many. So I will just leave an entire Q&A for you. So don't worry, I have not forgotten you. But thank you guys so much for sending me questions. If you have any questions for me, like I said before, send it to my YouTube inbox so I'll be able to organize it all, and I will do it with my next Q&A. Thank you guys so much. This is TheNatureGirl30 signing off. Peace out. Later.